All right, everybody, and welcome back to this 405 grudge match between Coda Hatfield and Gavin Ossenkop here at Dolese Youth Park. This is our fourth and final back nine of this two-round grudge match between these two cats. It is brought to you by Aces High with commentary by me, Nick Fowble, and my colleague here, Bo Tillman.
What up? So we got the end of our little grudge match going here out at Dolese Park. This is actually the last day that all the pins were on the long position. If you haven't checked out the front nine, pause this right now, go back, check that out. You can see how these guys got to 2 under.
Like and subscribe to Aces High, by the way. I'll give that.
Yep. Make sure you support these guys that are bringing us this awesome footage. So we got Gavin Ossenkop, we got Coda Hatfield, kind of the new up-and-comer, and then we got the old veteran.
Oh, yeah. Both tied at 2 down at Dolese, with Gavin coming in also 2 strokes ahead already, straight into hole 10. What do you think?
This is definitely where the separation is going to happen. Hole 10,
so?
450 feet. You got about 400 feet of wide open field, and then 50 feet of tiny little gap.
Yeah. Probably hyzer-friendly from both angles.
You pretty much have to throw it straight, though, to get to the basket.
Yeah.
A lot of people just play hyzer to the front of the gap, try to make a 50-footer.
That flipped over nice. It was a little low. See if he gets a good skip.
There's a good skip. There's the short pin right there.
Good shot.
Yeah, that's fine. Maybe a little bit left. He's going to have a little straddle out or a reach out forehand or something. But that's fine. You'd much rather be there than pin high and 20 feet right, because there is nothing over there.
What do you think he's throwing here?
I'm going to say he's throwing Zeus.
Yeah.
It's interesting how he comes up from the side of the tee pad like that.
Oh, wow. That
but
can't
always
be a
releases
Zeus.
it straight.
That can't be a Zeus. That was so flippy.
It might
came out
not
of
be.
his hand as a hyzer. I thought it was Zeus.
That is like the one spot that you do not want to be on this hole, though, in that cedar tree, because it sticks out a lot further than that tree line does. So when you're in there, your angle is just completely shot. I mean,
it
you
looks
can
like
tell.
Coda's throwing his meteor buzz.
I'm going to say that's a meteor.
Meteor buzz.
In fact, we can ask Coda, and I'll bet you $10 that that's a meteor.
$10 whole dollars. Okay.
He's going to throw big Anheuser
Coming out.
in the patent pending style.
That looked really long. And
Yep, just not. I mean, that's like an almost impossible shot. I don't know if. I mean, I'm sure that he could get it there with the skill set that he has, but I'm not sure that he wouldn't have been better off just pitching over to kind of where Gavin is and having an open look from maybe 45, 50 feet. Gavin's 50 feet.
nice little hyzer putt. Oh my gosh,
wow.
what a great putt by
What
Gavin.
a putt. We got a little Aces High rerun. Look at that thing just wobbling in the sunset.
Boom.
Whew, even wobbled
In there
on the
like
rim.
swimwear.
That thing is a wobbler.
That guy in the bucket hat's super pumped up back there.
He's loving it. That's awesome. That was a great putt. So we'll see if Hatfield has anything from out there.
I assume this is Hatfield's shot.
I'm gonna say that the camera guy stayed here to show you really how far he was in the
Oh,
woods.
boy.
Because
That-
you can't see anything.
Was
or
that
at
it?
least to show how thick the woods are. There he is. Oh.
So wait a minute. So that was for 4.
Yep. Like I said,
Okay.
he was so far in the woods that the camera guy couldn't even see him on his third shot.
Wow.
So he pitched up there.
Unfortunate 5 there.
That's what happens, though. That stuff is so thick over there. Like I said, you can be 30 feet left
Yeah.
and, I mean, not have anything. You get a bogey from inside the circle if you're off the green, right? in there.
Well, that's a 3-stroke swing with a great birdie from Gavin there. We're going into hole 3, 323. A little bit of fairway straight into a tree line and a downhill slope to the green here, which is a little sandy area. Man, that's a tough shot.
Yeah, you got pretty much 2 options here. You can throw this low tunnel shot that goes right down the middle. It's a left to right turning shot.
Maybe something straight over the top.
Yeah, and then you got
Yeah.
this shot that it looks like Gavin's going to throw.
Oh,
He's going to take his, I'm going to guess, most overstable destroyer and just throw it as high as he can over those trees. If it's high enough.
not high enough.
It didn't look like it was high enough. It might have been. You never know.
He's
it breaks.
not happy.
The tops of the trees get a lot lower as that hill goes down, so that's really a good play. I think that's the high percentage play. Yeah. All you got to do is beat that first tree, and the slope of the green will just follow your disc all the way down. You crash something somewhere around the basket, hope for a 30-footer. You can see how tight that middle gap is. You got to take that left gap between the...
That looked high enough.
That's definitely high enough.
Crash?
Yep, and then you're just playing Plinko.
Great play.
That's fine. That's a little short, but... I mean, all you can really ask for is a look from there.
We didn't see where Gavin landed. It looks like there's a little dispute.
Yeah, now you can see why, because he is up in the tree.
Oh.
So, like we mentioned in the front nine, this is actually during a PDGA sanctioned league, so you can tell he had all the other players on the card come over, give him a spot.
Yeah.
You know, if this was just a regular casual round or even just a little mini or something, you know, usually you can just kind of take your best guess of where your lie will be, set it down there. But PDGA play, you got to have everybody come over there and check it out. Make sure they give you your spot.
Right. He's just throwing a thumber out of the...
yeah, he was way
the
back
abyss
there. So he definitely
there.
did not clear that one tree that you got to beat off the tee. Hatfield's got a weird little look here. From a knee, kind of bending left to right around this tree.
Probably about 60 feet.
Yeah. We're just going to play downhill, so it'll play a little bit shorter, maybe like a 45-footer or so.
Stable up. Oh,
that
just
tree,
right of it.
Yeah, that tree is like 2 feet from the basket, and I have seen a couple actually bounce off that tree and go in.
Gavin needs this putt to save his par.
Oh, he gave it a good confident bid. Downhill putts can be kind of weird because you can definitely go way past them pretty easily. But he didn't go too far. He's maybe 15 feet or so.
Well, Gavin for his bogey putt goes in.
That'll be our second bogey on the entire round. That's pretty good.
It's not
if you make it to hole 11.
Yeah,
that's Gavin's first bogey of the round.
Right. I mean, but it's not a bad bogey from where his drive went initially.
Yeah. When you're buried in those vine things back there, I mean, bogey is almost best case scenario.
Easy par for Coda.
Hatfield picks up a stick there.
Yeah.
Getting one back off of that last hole where he lost a couple. There's Dewey back in the background. Michael Mahan too.
Nice.
Shout out to Dewey, the owner of D-Mart Pro Shop, one of the sponsors of this awesome coverage that we got here. Yep. Our next hole, hole 12, is 217 feet. Wow, it feels like it plays a lot further than that.
Yeah.
You go kind of, I know it looks like it's on this big hill from the preview that we have here, but really from the tee pad, it's just dead straight.
Right.
Dead straight and pretty much flat.
Yeah. It might be a little eye level higher.
But with those, with that elevation right there, you know, anything you hit has the potential to go a lot further than you think because it's a lot higher off the ground than it looks. But this one's a pretty straightforward hole.
That needs to
literally and figuratively. You literally throw it straight forward.
Yep.
If you throw it anything other than straightforward,
like that,
you're looking at some work. That's fine. That's by the short pin. That's 50-footer, 60-footer. Uphill. It was hot this day. I remember I was actually on the card right in front of these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, these guys are probably sweating a little bit. I'm gonna.
Yeah, I actually had just aced this hole right before them.
Oh boy, here we go talking about.
So I'm watching these shots pretty close, making sure. And as soon as Gavin hit that tree, I couldn't have been happier. Because I knew that was the last card to play, really the last aceable hole.
Right.
For the round.
And you wanted that money, yeah.
I wasn't having to give up any more of my money. But back to these guys, because like I told you a while back, this isn't about you.
Well, that was your story. Clayton Lawson actually aced that hole too, I heard. And it was probably a better ace, is also what I heard. So here comes Coda with the putt. He loves it. He's pumped.
He knew right out of his hand.
Rerun.
I heard that from on the basket of the next hole.
He knew it. Look at that. Look at that. Right out of his hand. Great putt.
That's awesome. That'll get one back. Let's see what Gavin's got. You think Gavin's got a putt?
He can putt.
Oh, there he is. 48 feet, I'm going to say.
48? I'm going to say 47.
Oh, never even gave it a chance. That's all right, Gav. You'll get him on the next one.
Yep.
Luckily, he got that 2 back there on hole 10. That's coming in handy right now since he's lost a stroke on the last 2 holes.
Nice 3-stroke cushion turned into a 1-stroke.
Yep, that's right.
Just like that with 2 holes. we have a battle here.
That was awesome. That's a classic Hatfield putt right there.
Right after 12, we got a one-score game.
A one-score game. That is high-quality stuff.
On to 13. Hole 284. I mean, I love this hole. It's a really hard hole for any beginners that are wanting to throw really high hyzer forehands if you're right-handed, or a backhand hyzer, or you can take that middle gap and pretty much pray that it gets an awesome skip. And then the green is very sloped, and there's also OB right there next to the basket with those cables, and it's a tough hole.
Yeah, this one is tough. You're pretty much just throwing it around this corner and hoping for the best.
Yeah.
Hatfield's going to go with the forehand here.
You got to hug that
It
side.
looks good. Yeah, you pretty much have to saw it off on purpose.
That looked beautiful.
That's good. I mean, from the tee pad, I'm sure he thought it was a little bit better. And usually there's a big right to left wind on this hole as well. So any forehands you get up over the trees are just going to die. And that's almost best case scenario with the forehand, really, on your typical windy Oklahoma day.
Right. It looked great, and it was still 35.
Yep. Gavin's going to go big rock turnover here.
It's got to clear that.
Yeah, that was too high out of his hand. You got to keep it low and penetrating forward, but that makes it so hard with that hard right turn it's got to make, because 9 times out of 10 they'll just cut roll and go right across that steel cable out there out of bounds. And then you're looking at a 35-foot putt for par.
Yeah, he doesn't want anything of that. He's just going to lay up out of there.
But he stayed on the edge. That's good.
Yeah.
If you get
It's
any
pretty
further
messy
in there than Gavin was, then you are hoping that you got some kind of gap. Hatfield's looking to erase that 5 that he got on hole 10. Right here, he's got one more putt to do it. That's like best case scenario. If you can make up a hole that you lost that many strokes,
like
in 3 holes. Ooh, wow, that looked good.
I thought he had that.
He knows that he's running out of chances, though. You can tell.
Yeah.
He's still playing really good, though.
Down by 3.
Yep, down by par. 3 overall.
You got 5 holes to go after.
He knows that he needed that one. The course gets a little tough at the next couple holes, but then finishes really easy. So he knows he's only got a couple holes left to really make his move.
Right. Well, that was an interesting hole for both these guys.
Yeah, that's kind of what you see here. You see, like I said, you see a lot of forehands end up about 40 feet.
Yeah.
And you see a lot of backhands that aren't executed just perfectly, and they either end up right there in the woods or they hyzer out early. Because that is a tough shot. It's also a lot more downhill than the camera shows.
It is amazing what Gavin can do with rocks. I mean, that's pretty impressive. But on to hole 14, we still got a one-stroke game. This is a monster. Actually, the monster. Am I right?
That is correct. They call this hole the monster. Hole 14 at Dolese Park. Probably the longest par 3 you'll ever see in your entire life, because I'm not sure why. Because par 4 is a bad word around these parts. But, 735 feet. The tee shot, well, all the way up to that tree in the middle that you'll see is, I mean, it's every bit of 460, 470 to get to that tree, I bet, as far as real distance or real power that it takes. That's good, though. You want to see it hyzer. You really want to get up to that tree and really ideally even left of it. But if you can get up to the top of the hill like that, that's past the tree.
It's wide open.
That was probably 470, 480 out of Hatfield right there. It's pretty solid.
Yep. You want to be up by that tree.
Yeah, he's going to have a flat shot at it.
That's
Gavin,
got to Annie.
That needs to turn. This fairway up here is so skippy.
Ooh.
See? Ooh. That's what it does every time. It skips and then takes that little roll, and he's under the one branch that you can't be under on this entire hole.
He might have a slightly blind shot. Coda's got
not only a blind shot, he's not even going to have a swing, I'm going to say. He's going to be hurting over there. Hatfield's looking at about 360.
Licking his chops.
Wide open. All he's got to do is miss that manhole cover that runs through the course. Oh, it's a little short.
Little short.
You want to penetrate through those first 2 trees right there.
Let's see where Gavin's
You want to go right at that little manhole cover.
Doesn't like that one.
Like I said, obviously. I'll be surprised if Gavin even has a swing from here. He's going to have to throw forehand. Yep. That is the one place you don't want to be. That's why
it's rough.
That's why these guys are throwing big turnovers like Coda does. Because they don't want to be caught doing that.
Yeah, that's a tough shot.
Like
Especially
I said,
from a person that doesn't
It's
throw
not
a lot
really
of
a par
forehands.
3, so that's going to show up as a bogey, hopefully for Gavin if he can get up and down from there. But really, that's just a par on the hole.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, Gavin actually thinks he can throw a far forehand.
That is fun.
Yeah, it's super funny.
Ooh. And see, you can see that.
Nice
You can
shot,
see that
Gavin.
this course gets a lot of use by how beat down all the greens are. They move the baskets pretty regularly out here, and still the greens just have been beat down by so many casual players that
Super popular course.
it is. It's probably the
Old
most popular course in
yeah.
Oklahoma City, at least.
Yeah, it probably has the most traffic out of any course, yeah. Coda needs it.
What a putt.
Got it. Loved it.
Wow. So he missed that one on 13 by, 2 inches probably?
Yeah.
And that would have been getting back 4 strokes in 4 holes.
Yeah, but great adjustment there for that one.
That's going to definitely
Great
make
3.
it interesting on our last 4 holes. We got 15, 16, 17, 18 coming up.
You know, you say the word bogey on this hole, but I mean, a 4 feels decent.
Yeah, 4 is a par, but regardless what it is, it could be an eagle. It still lost a stroke.
Right.
So
Dewey watching that footwork of Coda and then just the launch right there. Great shot.
Dewey out here supporting his sponsored players.
Yep.
Coda Hatfield is also on Team D-Marked.
Along with the other 2 card mates as well, Jonathan Amos and Isaiah.
That's correct.
Hole 15, par 3, 309 feet. Is this tucked to the right? It most certainly is.
This is on the alternate placement.
This is another one of them shots that you just got to get the distance correct and hope it just skips right on through there and up to the railroad ties where you will have a putt. Dense treeage. Is that a word? Treeage?
It is now.
Okay. Dense treeage off to the right side of the basket that will probably give you some trouble if you go a little long or too far right.
I'm going to just say what everybody else is thinking. There's dense treeage everywhere on this hole.
That's very fair.
That's what you want?
See, that's the play. Nice little skip.
Yeah, that's good.
Skip again.
Maybe, I'm sure that he wished that hit the ground maybe 15 feet further ahead.
Yeah.
Because that would have definitely got him up into those gaps. You can see there's kind of 3 main gaps. If you get close enough to the trees, you'll be able to manufacture something. But really, there's 3 main gaps over there.
Gavin's
looks
skip.
good. Yeah,
big
he needs about
skip.
3 skips. That's fine. He's kind of sitting in between 3 of those gaps right there. Or 2 of those gaps.
I'm surprised he didn't throw a rock.
That ceiling is so low, it really forces the forehand.
I'm just kidding.
But if there was one person that was going to throw a rock to this hole, it'd be Gavin.
Ossenkop, yeah.
Ooh.
That's not fun to see.
No, that's going to be a tough putt for par. That's still 32 feet probably uphill with some nastiness right behind the basket. So you definitely don't want to blow by this putt.
Nice little anti-putt here from Coda.
He's still got that tree right in his way. This is kind of a tough look.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more uphill than the camera shows. That's probably up 3 or 4
Does
feet.
he got it?
Oh! Wow. Between hole 13 and this one, you would think one of those would
He's
stick,
been putting
right?
on both of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You can tell. He's just...
It's a tie ball game if he makes those 2 putts.
Yeah. What a good putt by Gavin.
That was a
just
great
like it
putt.
was nothing. I'm telling you right now, that putt's a lot tougher than it looked right there. Especially knowing what's on the line right there. Losing another stroke. That would have been, I don't know, a million and a half strokes in the last few holes.
Right.
But
you can tell out of the
he makes the good one right there and keeps his lead at 2 going into the last 3 holes.
Yep. Which are still pretty good, not scoreable holes, I guess. And,
yeah, there's definitely no gimmies left on the course, but these guys definitely, either one of them could easily finish 2-2-2 or 2-2-1 or any combination because these are all definitely reachable for these guys. And Gavin really needs to birdie 2 of them. Gavin's thinking right now, if I can birdie 2 of these next 3 holes, then I can't be caught unless something crazy happens.
Yeah, this one plays a little to the right, so you can throw a nice turnover that just holds its fade, or you can throw a forehand like here a little bit wider, which Coda is going to choose to do.
If you were in Gavin's...
That looks great.
If you were in Gavin's spot right now, would you want to be first on the box or second on the box?
Probably first.
Think so? Put the pressure on him?
100%.
Or would you rather see what the opponent does first?
I usually close my eyes every throw besides mine my own.
That's a good strategy. Play the course, not your opponents.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's what Gavin's thinking here.
Has to hyzer.
Because he just watched if he doesn't, he just watched Hatfield park that one. But that one's good.
Good word.
Thank you, Triage.
We're coming up with words here.
So we got Gavin,
The ace is high.
35 feet, 30 feet. Almost same distance as that putt he just made. Ooh. He knows that he needed that one.
Yep.
I think he's getting a little nervous. His arm has looked a little jerky the last couple putts. I would be too. This is coming down to the wire.
Nice birdie.
That's a great
from
birdie.
Hatfield.
Bring it within one overall.
Yep.
That's awesome. With 2 holes left.
Didn't even drop an ash.
That's perfect. That's how you know he's a vet. He's been doing this for a long time.
Yep. I don't even think I saw him blink, to be honest with you.
I bet he didn't.
Gavin's super happy about that par. Coda didn't know it out of his hand, but then look, there he gets a little gust of wind. He loves it. Okay, well, that was a birdie. Brings us to Coda up 1 on this round, but still down by 1 overall. Coming into 17, 405, par 3.
This one's just going to be a big right-handed hyzer.
Yeah.
Is all it is. I mean, there is a little sneaky lefty line through these trees that you'll see once we get to the tee shots, but these guys are just going to be throwing probably their most overstable disc, and almost always is playing straight into the wind.
Yeah.
And they're just going to be throwing it hard and flat, trying to skip around that last tree. The basket is up there by the cameraman on kind of the center left part of the screen between those trees.
Mm-hmm.
So there is kind of this like direct gap at it, but it's tough. If you hit one of those early trees, you are hurting. Yeah.
You can fit a forehand through that. Looks like a middle gap. It's a little off to the left, but I mean, there's no reason to tease for that if you just have a 400-foot backhand.
Hatfield up the middle gap. He loves it.
He goes up the middle and
wow,
loves it. Zooms past the basket. Probably 435.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah, probably.
That's crazy. Usually you don't see him. I mean, that thing had a lot of steam on it to skip that far past it.
He loved it.
My shots are running out of juice right there at the basket, so I don't think that I've ever had to worry about that. We'll see if Gavin does.
Oh, he's going down the middle,
Gavin pimps it, too. Wow.
Go in the basket. Come on, Gavin.
Go in the basket, he says.
See, that's
shot.
That's kind of a more human shot right there. You don't see
shot.
many people skip 40 feet deep on this hole. But those are awesome shots. That's a tough gap to hit. Like I said, usually people just play that wide hyzer.
Oh.
Ooh.
Just missed the left.
It's coming down to it right here.
He knows it.
He knows it.
Well, we still got one more hole.
He's thinking that putt. He's thinking the putt on 15, the putt on 13. All of them just barely off.
Oh, that hit the rim.
Wow.
He loves it.
See, I think if he putted with like a clean spin, that doesn't go in.
A clean spin.
So, since he kind of does the little wobble, I think that's the reason that putt goes in. And that might be a big deal for him.
Yeah.
Wow, what a birdie. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Those were 2 awesome drives. You'd be hard-pressed to find 2 better drives than that on that hole.
I mean, look at the gap.
And those trees are staggered, too.
Yeah.
So that makes it even harder to hit. Anytime you have a gap with staggered trees like that or staggered obstacles, it makes it a heck of a lot harder than just throwing through 2 things that are right next to each other.
So this one's the OG. Just straight what you got. What you're looking at.
This is probably
what
one of the
get.
signature holes of Dolese Park.
I love this hole.
I mean, it's not much to look at, I guess, but something about playing it, this is one you can empty your bag on every time you play it.
Yeah, it's just still sort of, oh, wow, it's dark now.
Yeah, you can tell it's getting dark. Like I said, this is a mini that we run every Wednesday.
Yeah, we must have been waiting on your card, huh?
At least my card. I mean, we had like 90 people out here, so. But Gavin's got a 2-stroke lead. He knows all he's got to do, not throw it out of bounds, and don't hit one of those very first trees. If he just hits that first gap right there, unless Hatfield throws in an ace right here. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
Landed
I bet
right
that
by
looked like a good run out of his hand. That was like perfect.
Yeah.
Those are the 2 options that you got on this hole. You got the big forehand to the left and just the straight flip-up shot down the middle. So really all Gavin's got to do is just lay it up. Does he know that?
He did.
Yes, he does. He lays it up. He knows that if he can make a 4-footer, if he can wobble that thing in there, then he's got this one in the bag.
Just flap it on in there.
Coda finishes with the birdie, though. That's awesome.
Great birdie.
You love to see that. that determination from Hatfield after that tough hole on hole 10 at the beginning of this video to bring it back to as close as it was coming down the stretch. That's awesome.
Yeah, just a layup for par, and he wins by 1 for the entire 2-match series. Great job, Gavin.
That makes some of those big putts he was hitting back in round 1 at Griffin pretty important, huh?
Yeah, great
If you
job,
haven't
Gavin.
checked that video out, go check it out. Obviously, this is round 2, but there's a whole nother round that we filmed out at Griffin Park in Norman with these guys, and it was a lot of fun. These guys definitely put on a show. 2 and 3 under at that course. They're both over 1,000 for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, Gavin takes it by 1.
And it's all love between all these guys.
Yeah,
I mean,
see them all handshaking, all the gallery and stuff.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
the gallery.
Probably doing a little autograph signing.
And then,
Hatfield's like, let me go get my wallet.
well, thank you everybody for tuning in to Aces High Disc Golf here at the 405 Grudge Match. Couple sponsors: D-Mart.
D-Mart Pro Shop right there in that
Right
last
there.
frame. You saw Dewey
Yeah.
and Sean, the owners of D-Mart Pro Shop and Blue Point Disc Golf, talking. So make sure you support those guys, and we'll see you on the next one.
Yep. Like and subscribe again on Aces High Disc Golf.